What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. We posted a video earlier this morning which showed you guys some teasers coming from Dodge, or what we call Easter eggs, on this Easter Sunday, that showed you guys some products that could be coming for Dodge. And we're talking about the Viper, we're talking about the Cuda. We're going to roll this intro, get into our sponsored spot, and then I'm going to walk you through the website, tell you the link, all that good stuff, so you can see the stuff for yourself. All right, let's be real, guys. Buying a car can feel like you're walking into a game where all the rules are totally rigged. The research, the stress of wondering if you're going to get ripped off or screwed by a dealer, it's a lot. But there is an advantage, and that is Car Edge. Now, what Car Edge is it's trying to make car buying easier for you. They give you free access to the dealer invoice price. That's what the dealer or the dealership group or the name you see on the sign paid for that vehicle. And what does that do? It keeps you from getting stuck paying somewhere around that inflated sticker price, that MSRP tag that you see on the windows of all these vehicles. And knowing that information can give you an upper hand when it comes to negotiating, and should give you a little bit more confidence and keep you from paying more than you should. So head on over to caredge.com/TK. Type in the car that you're looking for. I don't care whether it's a BMW like me or a Tesla or a Hellcat. And boom, you got the dealer's cost right there. No fuss, no tricks, just real information that you can use to make an informed decision if you're going to buy a car. And just so you know, Car Edge isn't just a fly-by-night site. They're not just trying to collect your data to be able to do whatever with, right? They're the real deal. They've been featured on places like the Today Show, Consumer Reports, Fortune, and just like me, the Wall Street Journal. So before you head to the dealership, do yourself a favor and check the invoice price. It's free, it's easy, and it can save you a ton of cash. There's no excuse why you wouldn't want to do that. So go over to caredge.com/TK, and big thanks to Car Edge for sponsoring today's video. All right, so major shout out to our sponsors, man. We appreciate it. What we're going to do right now is I'm going to get into the website, and I'm going to walk you around on the website and tell you how you can find it, get there, look at it, see all the same stuff for yourself. See if you can find any other Easter eggs and put them in the comments. But I thought this was very interesting. Yes, that is the coffee maker. It is entirely too early in the morning, but I figured I needed to get this out for you guys on Easter Sunday. So without further ado, let's get into the website. All right, guys, so this is the Dodge Charger portal. Now, they call this it's at the website dodgechargerportal.com. Now, what I want to do here is go through some of the stuff that we're seeing here on the site. And there's like Easter eggs and all kinds of stuff. Now, I just muted this. This guy starts talking right away. And they talk about the difference between the Charger, Scat Pack, and the RT. And you can literally just drag your fingers on this website and scroll all around. So you have RT, you see the Scat Pack over there. They'll both spin around, do whatever. Depending on what kind of computer or whatever you have. I did this on the iPhone and screen grabbed it. And then we pull over here and, whoa, what is that right there? Is that a Cuda under a tarp? It sure looks that way, because when you look over here on the wall, now there is a little discrepancy about what that's going to look like. If it's going to look like the vehicle in the thumbnail, or if it's going to look like the vehicle the vehicle I posted in the thumbnail or the vehicle I posted in the video from a previous thumbnail. We'll see. The front face could look Challenger-esque, I'm being told. But you can see that Barracuda up in the left there in the corner. You don't see that fish on the wall, that little Easter egg. and it's a little difficult to like scroll around because the website will also keep zooming in, and you see like items are moving and stuff. You see the Radford Racing, and then over here in the corner, you see it says Vegas Race Park. Huh. That's where they announced the Demon 170. It wouldn't surprise me if they announced the Cuda there for some kind of event. That would be interesting. One of the other things that was interesting on this website are a couple other things. We know that Stellantis, i.e., Ram, is coming back to NASCAR. And if you look back there on the wall, you see Road Atlanta, and it looks like racing tires back there on the wall. Now, that could be attuned to a Ram, but I'm willing to bet most likely that the Cuda is the vehicle that will be coming back to NASCAR for Dodge, not the Charger. Because under current NASCAR rules, and I know they're doing some electric assist stuff or they want to do that in the future, they said. But right now you have to have an internal combustion engine vehicle to be able to compete in NASCAR. I know you're going to say, well, inline 6 Charger, TK, inline 6 Charger. Nah. I saw this little thing up here on the wall. I didn't know what that was. And here's the thing, like they hide Easter eggs in the weirdest spots. So like it could be stuff on the floor. And I know you're going to be like, all right, you guys are reaching now. But no, seriously, like they literally hide stuff. You can see the direct connection sticker back there on the toolbox. You see the electric charger right there on the wall. Another direct connection sticker. You got the Road Atlanta stuff back there. Yep. And this was the thing. I was like looking through here for every single possible Easter egg that could be around, you know? But what I found really interesting towards the back too, which we'll get to here in a second, is the stuff on the Viper, right? And you see Radford Racing School there on the wall. Road Atlanta back there. That's probably akin to, you know, talking about some of the tracks and some of the things that they'll be getting into with NASCAR. Explore technology. And I'm looking everywhere, right? There's the Cuda again on the wall. I'm looking everywhere for every single possible Easter egg that could be, right? I tried to zoom in, look like a calendar or something over there on the wall, but I couldn't really get a good enough resolution photo of it. But usually when there's stuff like that on the wall, they'll actually have a date marked and stuff. And that's usually like an announcement date or a launch date or something for a product. All right. We'll scroll over to the back over here. My dude's just sitting here in whatever the hell he's wearing, Tim's or... All right. Go down. No! I want to get to the back. Frustrating. All right, so you can see the Viper here. It's up on that lift. Now, I've had some other people say, well, maybe it's not the Viper. Maybe it's that new Duster or the smaller Halo car. It just has like a Viper front end. And I went, nope, that looks too much like the MC20 to me with a Viper-esque design. And you can clearly see the Viper logo back there on the wall. Now, that other vehicle all the way back there in the corner could be something else. You have the 70 mock-up, which they redid in 2023. You could buy that in carbon fiber. So, a lot of interesting Easter eggs here. And I see the Laguna Park there on the wall. So there you guys have it. Like I said, as you can see that Viper up there, and it looks just like it. People think it's that Gen 5 or, you know, the last generation Viper. But if you really look close, there's some key differences on that front. I've posted some internal like renders or stuff they were going to use to make clay models and stuff of another Viper. off of the Maserati MC20. I've seen the comments. People are like, no, we don't want an MC20 Viper with a V6 in it. It's not going to work. I think Europe is learning, especially Ferrari, Maserati, that the V6 supercar doesn't work. The V6, hypercar doesn't work. Now, I get it. There's the Godzillas of the worlds, the GTRs and things of that nature, but this is just a different animal. The Viper's always had that V10. And the only other thing I could see outside of a V10 that would get people excited, and I'm only going by what Matt McClare said publicly here not too long ago, that they wanted to get a very cheap Halo car. I have a video on that coming later today. And a, expensive end Halo car. And that would be the Viper, probably with a V12 mid-engine. I know it's not the Viper with the front engine, but could you imagine a mid-engine V12 Viper? It's immediately in the conversation with so many other exotic cars. And kicker, it's not going to cost Lambo, $300,000 Lambo price, $380,000, right, for a decent Huracan, right? It's not going to cost you $500,000 or $1 million, right? And it could compete directly with, I think, the ZR1 from Corvette, and probably beat it. Maybe also in price. Dodge could be onto something here. Stay tuned. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.